And there's no wind in today's forecast. It is calm and settled, but will change this weekend. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain. Exactly. Have they made a difference? Is anything changing? Well, it was the Paris Agreement in 2025. That was the big one. That was the legally binding commitment for the world to reduce emissions, to reduce global temperature rise. And we have a new study out today, and it's from Climate Central and World Weather Attribution. And it looks at extreme heat and the progress we have made since then, since that Paris Agreement. Back then, we were on track for 4 degrees of warming by the end of the century. And looking at extreme heat around the world, that would have added another 114 hot days. But now, with the current pledges that we have, we've managed to reduce that to 2.6 degrees of warming, progress by the end of the century, and that will halve the number of hot days we will experience around the world. It's still a little way off the 2 degrees that we said that we would have with our legally binding commitment from the Paris Agreement. But why does it matter? Well, this summer across the world, and particularly across the UK, but we feel a long way from a heat wave across the UK at the moment. Temperatures are sitting around average, and we have had very little change in our weather because of this. Our friend, high pressure, has been with us for well over a week now. It stops weather fronts moving through. It keeps a lot of cloud in the forecast. But here comes change. This weekend, low pressure moves in from the west, and it will bump away the high pressure on Sunday. That is our day of change. But for today, it is business as usual. It is cloudy, it is settled, but we see more wet and windy weather by the weekend. And cloudy skies or clear skies makes a huge difference to our temperature. We've seen a frost across Scotland with our clearest skies, where they're greeted by sunshine. For most other places, it is mild with these grey, leaden skies. And we repeat the weather we've had for days now. Cloudy skies for central and eastern areas, thickest for southern counties, giving the odd spot of rain or drizzle. West is best when it comes to shelter. So southwest England, western Wales, northwest England, western Scotland seeing the best of the sunshine. And temperatures today up to 16 or 17 at best. This is the problem. It's called anticyclonic gloom. When you don't get the vitamin D in the sunshine, people definitely feel it. So wet and windy this weekend.
OK, thanks, Laura.
Good morning. We have more of the same. It is cloudy, it is grey. But there is change coming this weekend. High pressure has been dominating. It's been like a force field, keeping weather fronts at bay, areas of cloud going round and round. But this weekend, this area of low pressure finally moves in, making progress, pushing away that high pressure and bringing a change to wetter and windier conditions. But here's how it looks for the next few days. Settled and cloudy, and then it turns wet and windy. So right now there's a lot of cloud for England and Wales. Temperatures holding up into double digits, but with clearer skies across Scotland, we've seen a frost first thing. Now, as we head through the day, it's very similar to yesterday. The northern half of Scotland having some decent sunshine, central and eastern areas of England largely cloudy. The thickest clouds through southern counties of England, the southeast, where there's some outbreaks of rain and drizzle. The winds are gentle easterly, which means to the shelter of high ground, West Wales, southwest England, northwest England, we'll see the best of any sunshine. And yet again, the mountains peaking above those clouds as well. That's where you need to head to see the sunshine today. And highs are best 16 or 17 degrees. So let's see how things pan as we head through the next 7 days. And it's very exciting. There's actually something else to talk about rather than these grey, leaden skies. So first off, looking at the north of the UK, Scotland, Northern Ireland, northern areas of England. The white line is our temperature, where it should be for the time of year. So we're below average. It is cool. That's because we just haven't seen that sunshine around. Percentage chance of rainfall, though, that's where it gets more interesting. It's been relatively low with these cloudy skies, thick enough to give some drizzle at times. But it is on Sunday when the wet and windy weather looks set to return, and it remains unsettled as we head through to next week. Fortunes further south for England and Wales as we head through the next 7 days. Again, looking at our temperatures compared to where we should be for the time of year. Sitting around about average, but feeling disappointingly cool with these cloudy grey skies. It's called anticyclonic gloom, this anticyclone bringing these grey, grim conditions. But percentage chance of rainfall, low for the coming days, damp and drizzly at times. But it is low pressure and wet and windy that moves in, so a change of type from Sunday onwards, with more unsettled weather on the cards.
A bit of a goody
Goody
two-shoes.
She's made that. I believe it.
Teacher's pet, basically.
What about Charlie?
Not quite.
Well, the opposite to Richard, I loved all my quadratic equations, and they're very much needed in the world of weather to figure out what's going on. But I tell you, the science is not difficult right now. High pressure sits with us. It pushes down the cloud and the air, and it brings us very grey, leaden conditions. But low pressure moves into the weekend, and it turns increasingly wet and windy. But for today, like it's been for the last few, there's a lot of cloud in the forecast, thick enough across the south and east to give some outbreaks of rain and drizzle. West is best when it comes to the sunshine and temperatures, with highs of 16 or 17 degrees.